What's up, y'all? Welcome to Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today we are going to expand upon the Labor Management Reporting and Disclosure Act of 1959. Now, in yesterday's little video, I talked about the Worker Bill of Rights. We talked about the purpose for the law itself. Now, if you remember, the purpose was basically back in the day, you had elected union representatives who were doing things that were corrupt. They were working with the mafia, and they were being retaliatory against the rank and file members. If there were complaints that were raised, there was retaliation, and there was hell to be paid. And that's where a lot of this sentiment that if you voice your opinion, you're going to get in trouble, you're going to get blackballed, you're going to get retaliated against. A lot of that stems from that type of history. So that's why the Congress decided to make the law. And if you remember, in Title I, the law guarantees union members a Bill of Rights. And the Bill of Rights, real briefly, are equal rights, freedom of speech and assembly, your dues can't be raised without your permission, protection of the right to sue. There's no labor organization that can stop you from suing them. And safeguards against improper disciplinary action. So they can't just punish you because their feelings are hurt or whatever. Well, you got to wonder, with all of these rules in place on the federal level, how is it enforced, and how do you go about protecting yourself, right? Well, in Section 102, it talks about civil enforcement. Any person whose rights secured by the provisions of this title have been infringed by any violation of this title may bring a civil action in a district court of the United States for such relief, including injunctions, as may be appropriate. So if your rights are violated, you can bring a case in civil court. There's a Section 103 says retention of existing rights. Nothing contained in this title shall limit the rights and remedies of any member of a labor organization under any state or federal law, or before any court or other tribunal, or under the Constitution and bylaws of any labor organization. So nothing contained in this title can limit the rights and the remedies of any member of a labor organization. And then you have Section 104, which guarantees every member a right to copies of the collective bargaining agreements. So you have a right to your agreements, so they cannot be denied to you. It shall, in Section 104, it reads, it shall be the duty of the secretary or corresponding principal officer of each labor organization, in the case of a local labor organization, to forward a copy of each collective bargaining agreement made by such labor organization with any employer to any employee who requests such a copy, and whose rights as such employee are directly affected by such agreement. And in the case of a labor organization other than a local labor organization, to forward a copy of any such agreement to each constituent unit which has members directly affected by such agreement. It goes on to say, and such officer shall maintain at the principal office of the labor organization of which he is an officer copies of any such agreement made or received by such labor organization, which copies shall be available for inspection by any member or by any employee whose rights are affected by such agreement. The provisions of Section 210 shall be applicable in the enforcement of this section. So when you can go to the hall and request any agreement that affects you, and they have to give you a copy. And that's by this law that was enacted in 59. Then you have Section 105 is the last section of Title I, and it says information as to act. In Section 105 it says every labor organization shall inform its members concerning the provisions of this act. I'm gonna read that again. Every labor organization shall inform its members concerning the provisions of this act. Now, I've been an IBEW member for a minute. I can't say that I read every electrical worker magazine that comes out, front to back. I can't say that. I can't say that I read the quarterly magazine of my local union. I skim through it. I don't read everything in it. So I can't say that either. But what I can say is, I just learned about this act. So I don't think there's a very big concerted effort to make sure every member knows that they have these rights. I don't think that there's this strong push to say, hey, we got to inform the membership of this amazing law that protects them against our own abuse. I don't know. I've been in the IBW for a minute, and like I said, I'm just learning about this stuff. Now, maybe it's because I'm getting more and more involved and learning more and more about my history and labor history, and I'm reading more about it because I find it very interesting, fascinating, and very important. Maybe that's it, but I don't think there was a very big effort to make sure the members knew that this law was out there. But yeah, man, we're gonna keep on reading through this law. We're gonna learn some more together. But I wanted to finish up Title I for you and give you all of my insights on it. I think it's an amazing piece of legislation. Came out, during the era of the explosion of the middle class. So of course it's a strong worker-friendly law. Unfortunately, corporations and billionaires have bought our government, and it's very difficult to get very worker-friendly laws in place. It's a good thing that the NLRB is behaving worker-friendly, and you're seeing union activity and explosions all across the country. Starbucks workers continue to win. Again, you had the Amazon labor union win. So lots of big wins all across the country for unions. And together, when we teach each other, we can empower each other so that we can strengthen our unions, and we can improve our living conditions, and we can improve the conditions for working people. And that's kind of the whole mission, right? So anyway, I hope you found this video informative. I do my best for these things for you guys. Again, my name's Eric, and you're watching Union Minded. And remember, the fight's not left and right. It never was. We've been fooled by that game. The fight is up and down and always has been. And it's going to take solidarity to win always. And don't forget, each one teach one, so get out there and reach one. Peace.